So you are profitable while only using liquidity and imbalance? Yeah. Market, teach me too.
I grind cause I gotta get paid. 1% chance, 99% faith. I fell in love with the hustle, I fell in love with the chase. No emotion, put in the pain. We get it no matter the weather. Sun, snow, sleet, rain. Go sleep and do it again.
Another day, another donut, and we back for some bread. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so currently it's 7 minutes to 3. Basically going into New York session. London session was dry, just a straight up consolidation. Now, the short that I was interested in gold doesn't seem to be happening. I don't know why. Because on the daily time frame, we do have a fair value gap, right? Which is why I'm persistent with the shorts. Which is why the market should be looking to drop with the daily fair value gap. However, the market has not been dropping for however long. It's been like maybe almost a week now since the market went into that daily fair value gap. So right now, my analysis has changed. Rather, the trade that I'm going to take today during New York session has flipped to become bullish because I'm not sure how far the shorts are going to go. So let me just flip real quick and show you the market and what we're interested in. Otherwise, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so here's the market we're currently looking at right now. So I will just go on the daily time frame to show you the daily fair value gap, right? So we have to basically look at this in a whole different perspective. Okay, look, so what happened is gold tested this daily order block on the daily time frame. It tested this daily order block and violated this one, which is why I think this one is inducement. This one is just sell side liquidity right there that was swept, right? Sell side liquidity right there, right? So I was thinking gold is going to sell from this fair value gap, right? It sells from this fair value gap, sweeps here one more time because this fair value gap is still big. It then sweeps this low, come play around here and then go bullish again. But it seems like it's not interested in doing that because 2 days after that, it closed with a big bullish candle, and the market has not moved with such volume since this bullish candle. All right. So what we are targeted to is this high, all-time highs basically. That's what we are looking forward to. So this fair value gap, now I believe it has to get, now I want it to get violated because I don't see it as a sustainable fair value gap. So let's scale down to the 4-hour time frame and let's see what we have. On the 4-hour time frame, we see a change in character right at this point. However, I still believe that it was a sweep of liquidity. When that sweep of liquidity happened, it still failed to break this low, to come to break that low. So we're going to remove that daily fair value gap, and then we give it a whole new perspective now. Right here, we see an SMT divergence because it failed to make a lower low. Instead, it made a lower high and a higher high. So that's our SMT divergence right there. Right, that's my SMT divergence. Now, you guys, if you want more explanation on buy sell side liquidity or all these concepts, SMT divergence, break of structure, change of character, let me know in the comments and then I'll make a separate video on that, explaining it in detail as a separate educational video. All right, so moving forward, so this was what changing character. Right, so that's my changing character. I'm going to place my changing character just right there. Let's place it. All right, now you see, like with time you have to change your biases if your initial bias didn't work. You might be getting lost somewhere, so you need to incorporate that and don't be afraid to be wrong. everything you do, every decision could be wrong. That's why you need to slow down and reevaluate. So no, this is not a change of character. So change in character, and then this is a break of structure, right? Break of structure to the upside. However, it didn't close with the body, which is not a comfortable thing to see, which is something I do not like whatsoever, right? And then so far it respected this order block, but I do not know how further it will sit with it. Let's just go on the 1 hour time frame so long to see what we are looking at. Okay, so all right, so the market swept this liquidity down here. It swept this liquidity, and then this was the order block it tested, and then swept another liquidity right there, made a change of character, didn't, I wouldn't say it fully retraced because it left an inverse fair value gap. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we are getting somewhere. All right, it didn't retrace back to this point, so it made a break of structure and it left an order block that was untested. Okay, and then these are liquidity points. It tested this order block, changed character right there. Now it came back to tested it right there. And then, okay, let me show you this analysis on the next chart. There, you see, order block. When it came back to the order block, came back twice, swept liquidity, changed character, came back again, swept liquidity, changed character right there. But I do not know whether if this is going to be the push is going to need, because we do have a fair value gap and an order block. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to leave this trade right here, and then we go back to this one, right? So let's see how this one is. So ultimately we want it to come back down here to the fair value gap, right? And then we put our stop loss just right behind our order block. Now, as you can see, this trade is still too big, so this is obviously not the trade that I'm going to be placing. I'll still have to wait for a 5-minute displacement and find a bullish fair value gap and an order block to finally enter. However, this is just to remind me that whatever entry we are going to look for, it has to come from under this thing and within this level, not beyond. If it goes beyond, this whole buy setup is invalid. And then now that is where we can actually set our long. You see? Then now we target our high, and then we put our area points that the market will likely come and test. All right, and this one. So this take profit 1, 2, and 3. Understand? That is over like a 2, 3. That is over almost a $300-400 move. So let's wait and see. So we are just going to wait for this trade to come down there, and then while we're waiting, we'll wait on this chart instead to see. On this chart, we're just going to target take profit 1, because the market can most definitely violate this one just to come back here. However, if, like I said, on the 4 hour, we will watch this together on the 4 hour, that it didn't violate this order block, right? It nearly did, but it didn't violate it. So if you go back on the 1 hour time frame, it's still technically the right thing to, it's still a right order block. The order block still not been invalidated, however, because order block swept liquidity, change of character, imbalance as well. Here we have an imbalance, came back right here, swept liquidity, change of character, imbalance, and we're on the 1 hour time frame, order block. And currently, as you can see, we're getting a good and nice rejection from that level. So it looks fine for now. Let's go on the 5-minute time frame just to see what we're currently looking at. Okay, So we get a push above here, a break above here, then we are it's definitely a buy. So we are going to place our break even just right below here instead of all the way down there. So we just wanted to break above there. So I'm just going to go back on the 1 hour time frame because the market is cleaner there. Actually, I wanted to break above this one. Yeah, not that one. That high is still too early. Just to break above there. That is where I'm going to place my break even. Yeah, so let's see how that one acts. Okay, now this is fine. I'll come back, guys, with an update. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so it looks like it has broken our 5-minute structure, which is good. So we want to see if it will break this high first before coming down here. However, I am going to move break even right now. And by the way, this is how I trade break even. So it's not random. Everything is calculated beforehand. Understand? I'm not placing break even randomly just because. No, or that I'm in fear of this trade. No, everything is calculated beforehand. Right? So we wanted to break this high first. And then we'll see what happens. Because if it comes back for break even, guess what I'll do? I'll just wait, get another confirmation, and then I'll enter. So there's no way, if this is a correct trade, I will still be tagged into it at some point in time. However, if it's an invalid trade, why force it? Break even is the best thing. The thing is, you need to learn how to put break even and when to place break even. That's the thing. It's very important. Sometimes when I get a late entry, suppose my entry was here now, somewhere there, instead of where I placed this fair value gap. Like maybe I entered late, I didn't place a limit, I entered late. If it was somewhere here, even if it broke this high, I'm not going to place break even because it's not at what? It's not in the zone where I would feel comfortable, like where I would like, okay, price is not going to retrace anymore. Because price, if I had entered here, price could still retrace to these order blocks for some reason. But just because I know, and then now look, my risk is been scaled down to less than $4. Now that's what's up. Understand? So we are going back on the 1 hour time frame. And then we are just going to wait for it there. I like the push though. Look how this push is. Very nice. So we're only going to target this high. Just that high. And then let's see how it does. Today is Tuesday. So yesterday we took a loss. Today it's looking very good. Because the loss was this short we tried taking yesterday. We got violated. I was trying to sell from this point in the market, as you can see. Wait, was it there? Where was it? Somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere here. I was trying to sell from this point, but as you can see, it violated us and then it still dropped down. But then that made me realize that it's not selling. It violating us yesterday, it made me realize that it's not going to sell. So that's why we entered this buy right here. And I like the push. So what I want to see is it closing above here. Now this it has to do. All right, it's closing above that. That will give me a signal that it's going to make this an order block. All right, so my stop loss is fine where it is. You see, it even aligns with the higher time frames. So that's what's up. This is very nice. This is very nice. So clearly looks like we respected the 1 hour fair value gap. So let's just give it some further time. What I do not want to see is the market going up, right, above this blue line, the first one, and then leaving a wick above. That sometimes is very risky. But it doesn't matter because we already have break even. But if I had not placed break even, I would want to see it close with the body above there. That's what I would want to see. Or it can maybe retrace and close with the wick, but it has to have gone above the second one at least if it's going to do that. So let's just give it some more time and let's see how far it goes. Wow. Okay, now this was an unexpected turn of events. The market just suddenly retraced all the way back down. Alright. At least we're at break even though. We've reduced our risk. Okay, but it looks like it's respecting this order block though. So we are fine. It looks fine. Let's just see. Let's just give it some more time and then we'll be back at it. Yeah, man. So guys, again, this is day 4 of posting every day until 10,000 subscribers in 60 days. So only about 50 something days are remaining from 2025. So we are going and targeting for 10,000 subscribers, guys. I'm going to give you guys more than 60 videos for every single day, and you guys give me 10,000 subscribers. I really do believe it's possible. I do know it's going to need some hard work in it. We're going to push every day for it and be very much consistent. But if I'm consistent, you guys will also be consistent with the subs. So if you're watching this right now, man, and you want us to get to 10,000 subscribers, please go ahead and place a sub, bro. Place a sub. Show some support for your boy, understand? Like the rejection on the 5 minute time frame, let's just wait a little bit further. And if it does violate us, we are just going to take the analysis we had made earlier. Okay? Yeah, that's exactly what we are going to do. And as well, guys, we are building a community right here. So if you haven't already, go ahead and how do you call this? Search up my Instagram there, and then on my Instagram there is a community, Traders Economy on my Instagram, Michael Fine or MVP Trades 1. Understand? We're building a community, guys. We need as well 10,000 people in there for it to be a very nice community where people can interact with each other. I have a lot of things planned with you guys, for you guys, understand? But I cannot do it with only 100 people. Understand? We already have about nearly 200 subscribers. However, as you can see, some people don't show up every day to watch some videos. So the bigger the number, the bigger some people also show up, because your times are very much different. Some of you guys will be only able to watch the videos after a week. Understand? And some things are very urgent. Some things need to be done almost ASAP. So we do need a very much responsive community, gents. But I do appreciate everyone that shows up every day. I do appreciate everyone that shows up. Okay, so it looks like we are getting violated. Otherwise, we are just going to wait for this to... Okay, you know what? Before I do that, let's just wait for it to violate completely, because it could be just a mean retracement. Right, otherwise, gents, we are going to push and work hard, gents. 10,000 subscribers, we are coming for it. By January 1st, we are at 10,000 subscribers, more than 10,000 subscribers. Understand? So I'm also going to give you guys valuable information, valuable and very entertaining YouTube trades, gents. Very much relatable for you guys to enjoy as well. So let's get straight into it. So comment down below what you'd like to see and who you'd like to see, because trust me, everyone you look up to is going to be on this channel, or I'm going to be on their channel, or we are going to collaborate in some way or form. Okay, so this one got violated. We are not going to tolerate this anymore. We are just going to wait for the one we wanted in the first place. Since it's already New York session, I do not trade New York session that often. If I don't find a trade during London session, I am good off of it. So I'll just have to wait until tomorrow, I guess. So we want the market to find its movement within it, because the market is already moving slow and there is no news today, I don't think. So we're just going to wait for the market to come within the zone, and then by tomorrow I'm sure it would have created a clear move that we can participate in. Okay, and then we'll continue to the buy. But if otherwise it continues dropping, the drop was complicated for us to catch, but that's fine as well, because I'm not very much comfortable with this market structure for shorts. It already refused to give us a short, so why do it now? Okay, so see you guys. I thought this video was going to be long, but yeah, that trade just took us out, but it's fine. We had break even, everything is well. So thank you guys, see you guys tomorrow.